If you're in sales, then I'm sure you're thinking to yourself at times that you might be coming across as salesy when you're making a presentation or you're having a one-on-one conversation, or even when you're having a conversation with someone in your life and you want to influence them or persuade them to your way of thinking. You might think that you're coming across as quote unquote salesy, right? And even if you're not in sales, this is still very valuable information for you because you are in sales. Everyone is in sales, no matter your profession, no matter your background, no matter what career you're in, no matter what kind of business you're in, especially you are in sales. And your ability to sell, but not come across as salesy is super important. And today we're going to talk to someone. His name is Steve Hunt, who knows all about this. He lives and breathes sales, and he specializes in the art of sales that will help you to sell more without coming across as salesy. You know the price of admission for watching the Be Better broadcast, which is share this show with one person who could use this information. If and only if you took away one piece of value, such as you learned something, we made you smile, we gave you a new way of thinking, we helped you to earn more money, whatever it is, share this show with one person. It's the number one way that we've been able to grow this show over the past 8 months. And we are on that upward trajectory because of you, because you're part of the team, and because you're getting this word out to the people who need it the most. So without further ado, let's talk about sales with my friend, Mr. Steve Hunt. And for those who don't know Steve, Steve is an executive coach and a strategic advisor on the Rave Strategy Studio team, a speaker, advisor, and most of all, a teacher. Steve has been entrenched in the world of the highest achievers in business for over 3 decades. He's coached executives at British Petroleum, Microsoft, Lockheed Martin, the White House, super cool, Cisco, and IBM, and has assisted more than 400 global organizations in optimizing success in operations and leadership. Wow, quite the track record, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that great introduction. And as you were saying that, I was realizing, oh my goodness, that the story you just said from my background is how I got into sales. It didn't sound like a sales background, but it absolutely was.
Wow.
Yeah,
You have quite the colorful background. And it's true that you were in IT and cybersecurity, right?
yeah, that's right. That was my main career. I was a career professional and executive in IT and cybersecurity, and traveled the world helping organizations to optimize their business processes, to secure their systems, and help the senior executives understand what all of this investment was about. And that's where sales first came into my awareness, Brandon. It's because everything we did in IT was in some ways about selling an idea, getting buy-in from senior management or getting buy-in from business unit owners to let us roll out some software.
Was
Slowly
there
but
a
surely,
specific
it came
moment
out.
that, like, was there a specific time that you knew that you had to improve in this ability or skill that we call sales? Like, because at first, were you like, oh, I didn't sign up to be a salesperson? Like,
Mm.
what did that look like for you when you came to that realization?
Well, it was a hard-hitting reality for me, Brandon. I was at a point in my career where I had reached the top. I had gotten every accolade I could get in the industry. And I thought, this is the perfect time to go out on my own and hang a shingle out on my own as a consultant. And I did, and soon was hit hard with the reality that to run a business, even as a cybersecurity consultant, I had to sell.
Mm, yeah. And when you came to that realization, what did you do about it? Because a lot of people would say, I'm not a salesperson. I'm just going to go through this and I'm just going to talk to people the way I've always talked to them. And while they might be nice people, they're not very effective at business. What did you do in order to grow in this skill? Because I know you have a philosophy around sales,
Mm.
specifically around enrolling people in an idea, which I haven't actually heard of that before. So, what does that idea of enrolling people in your idea? What does that mean, and what does that look like?
So here's how it started. It was the At first I was so comfortable talking to people, especially about IT, about their technology problems. And but I also was asking everyone around me, what did they love about working with me?
Mm.
And this was the first time the light bulb went off. And everyone I asked, colleagues, clients, executives, they all said they never said, Steve, because you know so much about IT. They never said that. They always said, because you helped us get our budget approved. You helped me get a
Mm.
promotion. You helped me get buy-in for that project. And slowly but surely, I realized that, aha, the type of sales that I'm good at is the type that is about relationship building, getting people to buy in, or the word I love to use is enroll in an idea. The last time you enrolled in something, Brandon, whether it was school or music lessons or any, athletic training, you enrolled with your whole body, your whole being, your whole mind. You were totally involved in it. And that's the reaction I would get when I would enroll somebody into a project or an idea. And it turned out to become later a philosophy of sales.
Wow. Yeah, I want to dive into what that philosophy looks like because that's fascinating to me. And the thing I like about it, just from the limited information I have right now, is I've gone through a lot of different sales systems, right? And a lot of them are just very, they're basic, build rapport, listen, ask questions, overcome the objections, and then close the deal. Like that's like every
Mhm.
sales system in a nutshell. What I like about yours, though, is it's not as much of a system as it is a philosophy and way of thinking about sales, which is cool. And when I
Yes.
had a conversation with Sarah Phillips recently about sales, she says that sales is service, sales
Mhm.
is helping people. And even if you're not the one with the product who's going to help that person, you refer them to somebody who has the product that's right for them. Like when you ask people, what do you like about working with me? They didn't say the product, they said the result of
Mm.
what you were able to do and what that product did for them. So, with this vast experience of IT, cybersecurity, now with your work with the Rave Strategy Group, what does that work look like? How did you transition from this world of IT to what it is you do now? And what exactly is it do you
Mhm.
do now? And who do you help?
Yeah. Well, when I put out my shingle to be an independent consultant, I quickly learned that my constituents, my clients, my ideal clients were professionals who wanted to grow in their careers. And many times that meant themselves learning how to enroll or get better influence, get more support and enroll support around them for their ideas. But some other times it meant that they wanted to have a side gig, become an entrepreneur on the side, maybe be a coach of some type. And so teaching people how to enroll support or enroll clients in any context became my day-to-day job.
Wow. So, with where the business has come to now, who is the typical person that would work with you or go through your program? Like, what does that person
Mhm.
look like?
Yeah, entrepreneurs who have felt really crappy about riding the roller coaster of their business, having a good month followed by a bad month, a good quarter followed by a bad quarter. I felt that originally until I kind of got the hang of enrolling, and it's a terrible feeling. It's like you wake up in the middle of the night like you can't breathe and you've got the stomach acid and it's not comfortable. It's not a good feeling. And mastering enrollment, on the other hand, is like this solve, this way of kind of connecting and healing those yucky feelings and connecting with other people and
Mm.
becoming, I guess, part of that philosophy you mentioned is becoming, like Sarah said, service, but I like to think of it as the wind beneath someone else's wings. I want to be the wind beneath their wings. I want to help them achieve whatever they're going for. They're striving for their vision, for their goals. And if I can help them to get there, if I can support them like the wind underneath an eagle's wings, then I'm doing my job.
Very eloquently said, by the way. You painted a really good picture there. I love that. Okay. When you're working with these entrepreneurs then who they have a great month, they have a low month, they're afraid, quite frankly, that they're not going to be able to keep up this business that they're putting so much of their time, effort, their sweat and their blood into. Is there generally one thing that they are lacking in? Is there one thing that you tend to focus on first? Like, what is it that most of these individuals are quote unquote doing wrong?
What I'm about to say will maybe lose a bunch of listeners. But the thing I'm on video enacting the thing that most people don't do, and that's pick up the phone. So many entrepreneurs are attempting to grow their business by updating their website, by sending out emails, by doing social media. And for sure, those things can draw attention and grow leads. But at some point, we need to convert a lead into a happy client. And
Mm,
that takes, in my experience, an enrollment conversation.
wow. You know, it's so simple of a concept that you actually have to do the thing, right? And while you might be an expert at what your field is,
Mhm.
you still need to create a client.
Yes,
And
that's it.
that creating a client, that's where the sales comes in, right? And it's
Yeah,
creating the conversation.
it's a mind game that we do with ourselves. We tell ourselves, "Hey, I'm telling the world what I do, how great I am, and what problems I can solve. If somebody wants that, they'll come to me." And just like if I want something, I'll log into Amazon and order it. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs think a business is.
A lot of people, they are an expert at what they do. Like
Yes.
even speakers, right? They're a speaker on leadership, even they're a speaker on goal setting, creative planning, whatever it is. But it's the part of actually getting the client where a lot of people
Yeah.
fall short, and they don't know how to start that conversation, engage in that conversation. Like when you're working with someone, let's say you're working with me, okay, and
Mhm.
I'm an expert in my field. I've got the social media profile, I've got the social proof, the content, all these things. How would you help someone like me who needs to convert more customers, but I have this mind game going on of, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to reach out to them. What if will they reach out to me? Like, what does that process look like?
Some entrepreneurs, myself included, have to work through a worthiness question. Like, am I really worth the money I'm charging for this? Now, if somebody comes charging through the door saying, "Oh my gosh, I want this. Here's my credit card," we'll happily take it. And if we get a client from a referral, that's also like a warm, fuzzy, easy sales conversation because it's it's already warmed up by some other happy customer. But very often, this is somebody who doesn't know us at all, and we get to tell ourselves we are worth having this conversation with the other person.
Wow.
Why? Because I know I'm really good at what I do, and I get to believe that. I know it intellectually, and if I believe it in my heart, then I'll have the confidence in my voice when I talk to somebody. But a lot of times when entrepreneurs don't have that confidence, when they're worried about their own worthiness, they'll become a little mousy at the time of talking about the business. They will deflect and not get to the heart of the matter of talking about the pricing or making the investment work for the client, finding a price, a payment method that will work. And getting to that nitty gritty feels uncomfortable and they're nervous about it. Well, one way of shifting this quickly for entrepreneurs, and this is for everyone can use this today and transition the way they think about sales entirely. And here it is. There is no more closing. You will never again, after this, watching this video, you will never again close a sale. You will open. There is only opening. Now, here's what I mean. When you start a conversation with a prospective client, you're essentially knocking on the door saying, I think you might be interested in this. And the start of the conversation, picture the other person looking through the peephole of the door and talking to you through the closed door. Who is it? What do you want? And that's the beginning of the conversation. As you help them to talk about their vision, what the things that they want, the things they want to achieve in their lives, they'll open the door a crack. And imagine like they've got the chain across the door and they open it, it's like 3 inches open and you can just see their eye like through the crack of the door, and that's how you're talking to them. They have opened the door to the conversation. And as you talk further, imagine them unchaining the door and holding it open. Now, holding it open is the image. They're holding it open with their hand. Now you can see them. You can have a real conversation. You get their body language. You can connect with them as a person, but they're still holding onto the door. They can slam it at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Your conversation is, you have enrolled them when they throw the door open and invite you into the living room. That model, when you get that into your head and realize that I'm never closing anything, I'm only opening and opening more, it will flip some switches in your brain, flip some switches in your heart and your gut, and suddenly talking to clients will be the easiest, happiest thing you've ever done.
It's such a flip of thinking that the door is already open and we have to close that door. It's like even that mental image is wrong. Just thinking about
It's
that.
wrong. Yeah.
That switch to the door is already closed. The only thing you can do is open that door. When did you, by the way, I love that. That's a super cool way of thinking about it. When did you realize this for yourself? Was this when you were in the IT cybersecurity world?
I heard salespeople talking about closing deals, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what that meant since I didn't come up through the sales world. And so when it dawned on me that having a conversation with a CEO talking about how to spend $1 million on some cybersecurity was about first opening the topic, opening the conversation, and then opening possibilities, creating possibilities. And in my mind, Brandon, that's what enrollment is. That's what non-salesy selling is. It's a conversation about possibilities, and then opening the door and becoming the wind beneath the wings. All of these images for me make selling the easiest and greatest thing I do.
I can only imagine that when you have these conversations, though, with some, especially high ego drive individuals, and they say, Steve, I'm hiring you to help me make more sales and help me to sell more, right? And you come in and you must have some kind of Trojan horse where you go in the gates and they think, oh, more sales. And then you come out of the Trojan horse and it's like, we got to open the door, right? We got to talk about your worthiness. How often do you confront friction when you're having that conversation with someone? And how do you open the door with your clients to help them realize, listen, this is a worthiness issue, because you're great with referrals, you're great with, warm leads, but we got to talk about your worthiness when it comes to new clients. How do you confront that conversation?
The fastest way to get results for somebody with that approach is to look at their results. Okay, let's look at your results. What are your sales results for the last quarter, for the last month, and for the last week? How many calls did it take to get that? Are you satisfied with that? The answer is those results are terrible. That's why you're here. And so it's obvious what you're doing is not delivering what you want. Are you ready to a change? Are you ready to make a shift? And if they're ready to make a shift, we can. And that question, are you ready to make a shift? It's the same when I'm enrolling a new client into becoming a better enroller, a master enroller, or when they're enrolling somebody into their product or service. The idea is to paint a picture of what's possible. What's possible? Let's say you master enrollment. You become a master enroller in the next, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Or 3 weeks, you're already a master enroller. You talk to Steve Hunt, the switches are flipped. Now you're having conversations and people are enrolling. What will that mean for you? What does that mean? You've got more money coming in? Probably. Does that mean that you can, pay your bills? Yes. But it means something more important, Brandon. It means for the first time in your life, you're in complete control of your income. You're no longer riding the roller coaster, wondering from month to month whether next month is going to be as good as this month or next month is going to be as bad as this month. You'll never wonder that again. I mean, you've seen business people and salespeople who declare a goal, declare a number at the end of the month, and they hit that number, and they do it month after month. And the next quarter, they hit bigger numbers, and they do it month after. What are they doing that you're not doing?
Yeah.
Are they working harder? No. They are engaging with their clients and enrolling them, and they are taking control of their income. And that's what you can do. That's what all entrepreneurs have the ability to do.
They're focusing on the activities that will actually move the needle, and they're focusing on those activities with this shift in mindset that they can only open the door and not close it.
Yes. If I ever get a chance to talk to a brand new entrepreneur, somebody who's just starting out, I'm so happy because they haven't learned all the bad habits of entrepreneurship, like, oh my gosh, I need to build a social media following. Oh my gosh, I need to have the best website in the world and spend money on that. I tell them, don't even get an email address. Like, don't do anything. Don't even get a company name. Don't even become an LLC. Just start selling. Enroll people in their visions and become the service, the wind beneath their wings. And you're in business. You'll start making money from day one rather than spending money for however many months and then finally tripping over a customer.
Yeah, that's what I did. And I was only able to do that because I had a full-time job that was funding my business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have that, then you're not going to be in business very long if you're not actually making sales. And now I've built an audience, and I'm blessed to have clients coming from that audience now.
Yes.
And it's not all outreach, but at the beginning, it was me wasting time on the things that didn't matter. It was having the nice website, the thick business cards, right? When you get them in the mail, you're like, I'm successful, because you can hold it, you can squeeze it, and you still don't put your two fingers together. And those are not the things that matter, but it gives a false illusion of progress.
Yeah.
When you do those things, which is, it gives you that dopamine hit, but it doesn't actually give you real results.
Well, that's it. That's the results. And I realized when I was just starting out and I wasn't getting the results as a fledgling entrepreneur 15 years ago, I now, in retrospect, I see I was doing all the right things, but I was doing them all wrong. I was doing them with the wrong technique, with the wrong attitude, in the wrong order. And so that's part of it too. Business cards and websites have a place in your business, but they are not step one. And that's what I was doing. I made all those mistakes. I made every mistake an entrepreneur can make. I overpromised, underdelivered, hired too many people, hired the wrong people. Hey, I haven't hired a family member. Let's try that. I did every mistake you can do. But boy, oh boy, learning fast. And then once you get the rhythm of being an entrepreneur and you see how you can control your income, entrepreneurship is like, there's no going back. It is awesome.
I think the presupposition here that's important to point out is step one is to start selling. But before you can even start selling, how important is it to be clear of who your customer is and who the right customer is? Because I know this is a big hiccup for a lot of new entrepreneurs out there, especially those in the knowledge business. Like they might be like a fitness coach, or they might be a speaker, but they don't know if they want to speak to corporate America, do conferences, do their own events. Like, how is that a conversation you have often with new entrepreneurs, the target audience? And if it is, it might not be, but if it is, what does that sound like? How do you help people pinpoint that?
Okay, yeah. When in my mastering enrollment training, I usually start with a couple of hours of just this question: Are you? What is the thing that you love doing? And here's how I approach it. And here I'll ask everyone: if the phone were ringing off the hook. Well, ringing off the hook shows how old I am, but some of your viewers might know what I mean. Ringing off the hook with exactly your ideal customer asking for your favorite thing to do. What's that conversation? And I have them walk me through that. And that's a conversation most people have never thought of. Who is my ideal customer and what would they be asking for? And I'll tell you the trick. Here's the hack for starting and growing a business fast. There are many things you know. There are many things you can do. But look at the whole pizza of everything you know and can do. Look at the whole toolbox and slice one slice of the pizza, one piece of everything you can do, one little thing that a lot of people that you already know want. And just offer that.
Wow.
Not the whole pizza. Just offer that. And do that with 5, 6, 8, 10 clients. Nothing else. Don't upsell them anything else. Just do that 6, 8, 10 times. 6, 8, 10 new clients with just selling this for a very modest, no-brainer price. You're in business, you're making money, you're doing something that's easy, that you love, and that they want and need, and they're happy to pay for. And then supersize them, then upsell, then create a deeper relationship and go further with them and create more possibilities with them, with the rest of your pizza, the rest of your toolbox.
First, I thank you for going into that, because that's helpful for me personally, as well as I know it's going to be helpful for those listening, because I have a lot of coaches in my circle and there's a lot of solopreneurs listening to this as well. Some of them new to business, some of them are in it, but they're not, they're in the same spot that you mentioned. They're having a good month, but then they're having a month where they don't enroll anybody and they're just serving their existing clients. And they're like, wow, I got to do this every single month. And they're focused on the entire pizza. And this was me. And I only started to get more clients and book more business when I started laser focusing about 8 months ago on just goal setting. And I talked about
Wow.
goal setting. I talked about the
Beautiful.
science of it. I went deep into this one subject, the science of it, how to do it, how to achieve the goals, different ways you can do it, vision boarding, like only one slice. And even that's a pizza of itself. And you can go into many different things, visualizing, manifestation, all those things. But it's something people want and need. It's something I love talking about. And I went in on it. And from that, especially with a couple clients I'm thinking of specifically, they loved it. And they're like, what else do you do? And it's like, well, and I had to think of things on the fly. Like, oh, I've been in sales my whole life. So I started talking about influence and persuasion in the digital age specifically. And it started to grow my repertoire, but I only started based off trial and error, by the way. And I didn't really even know what I was doing, right? I didn't have it all. I didn't have someone like you to help guide me through that. Once I focused on that slice, that made the world of difference for me.
Wow, beautiful. Well, that's great work. And then from the slice, yes, you can still create the whole pizza. In fact, you can create a whole line of pizzas from it, and build your empire. But it starts with a single slice, and it starts with a single, not problem. I guess in sales, you talk about problems and the pain that the problem causes, and then curing that pain, solving that pain. That's the sales. And it's also about closing deals. Yeah. Pain, problems, and closing. That's sales. Yeah. That's not what I do. I do enrollment. I talk about possibilities, vision, and opening.
It's such a difference that it makes you feel different just saying those words.
Yeah. And you'll feel different. It makes a phone call to somebody an opportunity to talk to them about their dreams, their visions, what they'd love to see possible. And maybe they don't even have a clear idea of what the future holds. Well, help them to get there. Help them to paint a picture of their future.
Wow.
Enroll them in their own vision.
They'll tell you what the program is.
Mm-hmm.
So powerful. I mean, if this is like, I've taken away like 4 things already. I really advise everyone listening after this next part, rewind like 10 minutes and re-listen to that over and over and over again until this concept of enrollment, possibility, opening, focusing on the slice, and making sales is the number one thing that you're focused on from the beginning. And once you do that, then you can get the thick business cards, and then you can get the website. Yes. And you'll actually be able to pour some money into it because you're actually earning money.
Et voila. That's it. That's exactly beautiful. It.
Well, I can't imagine what's inside the Mastering Enrollment course that you've created. So I know this is a 12-week course. Can you tell us a bit about Mastering Enrollment, like what the course itself looks like, what people can expect, and how we can go about signing up for this?
Sure. Mastering Enrollment is a 12-week course. And the great thing about this course is once you learn enrollment, you never have to learn it again. You will have it the rest of your life. You will become a master enroller in 12 weeks or less, and you'll be a master enroller forever. Here's how it goes. There is one-on-one coaching with me and with my business partner and lovely bride, Katya Rave. She's a international business coach and best-selling author. And she and I lead this program and lead everyone to become master enrollers. And here's the great news. You learn it fast, but also at your own pace. We have group coaching in a virtual Zoom setting twice a month, plus one-on-one coaching, plus a ton of videos that you can watch. You can binge watch in one weekend and then rewatch over and over and soak it in. And it's practice. There's lots of practice. We practice role playing. We practice changing our language. So it's more about opening and possibilities and connecting with people, and practice different scenarios. And you'll actually make enrollment calls, and we'll debrief with you to see how it goes. and help you tweak your form. Over the 12 weeks, you can set a goal for how many new clients you want to get or how much money you want to make. And we will help you meet that goal, achieve that goal. So you set a 12-week, 1/4 goal and achieve it. Make that money. Pretty much everybody pays for their Mastering Enrollment course within a few weeks just by getting the new enrollments.
Not a lot of courses can say that too. Not a lot of courses can say you will earn your money back by the second week if you're putting your time, your attention into it. Like that's amazing because it speaks to the results that people will actually get in the program.
Yes. And I know just by listening to this podcast, some people are going to have an aha moment, and they're going to enroll a client or two this weekend that they didn't expect to.
Yeah.
And they'll go, wow, this really works. So some of your audience is already experiencing it just now.
I'm experiencing it. So I know that they're going to as well. So how can we go about joining this program? I know you're offering a free, in a sense, a strategy session to talk about the individual and if this makes sense. Is that correct in me saying that?
Yeah, it's super simple. And by the way, the course does not cost an arm and a leg. It's very modestly priced. Just give me a call, use the link that Brandon will post, and just click on it, find a few minutes for you and I to talk, and we'll find the right thing. We'll just make it happen.
Incredible. Well, guys, you heard it. The link is in the description to book a few minutes with Steve so he can help you to make more sales, to enroll more clients, and truly build a business that you can be proud of. Build a business that's earning you income, and build a business that's based off of you doing what you love, but also helping to serve people at the same time and open the door for future relationships and future business. Steve, this has been one hell of a conversation, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. And
Brandon, a lot of fun. Thanks.
I look forward to hearing how the program goes.
Okay, cheers.
That's how you do it, guys. That's how you sell. It's not about closing. It's not about pressure. It's not about pain. And I used to be the trainer who talked about pain. I used to be like, you got to find the pain. You got to press on the pain. You got to see him wince, right? I used to be that trainer. And looking back on it now, it's like, I've grown a lot because I realized while I got short-term results from that, it wasn't a sustainable path for long-term success and long-term fulfillment with what I did. Instead, switch the language from closing to pressure to pain to enrollment to possibility to opening the door. That alone is worth its weight in gold for the 30 minutes or so that you spent listening to this conversation with Steve and myself. But for those who know that this is exactly what they need, even if you don't know if this is exactly what you need, click the link in the description, book a few minutes with Steve so he can dive into your personal situation and see if this 12-week experience will make sense for you and your business to help you to sell more without coming across as salesy. You know the fee. If you found any value, which I know you did because I took away a lot myself, share this show with one person who could use this information right now for their career, for their business, for whatever it may be. And as always, thank you for watching the show. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.